All right, and welcome back to episode 063 of the OK Podcast powered by the Strength Co. I'm your host, Grant Broggi. We are recording live from beautiful Orange County, California. Well, that's where I am anyway. I'm not in the high desert right now, and no, I am not in an ISIS dungeon. There's just a baby that's being put to bed. I'm joined tonight by my co-host, Mr. Trey Gottlich, coming to us from Abilene, Texas tonight. Abilene. That's where he always is. It's where he always loves to be.
Close.
He'll be in Amarillo by morning, last we checked. And also Major Jeff Buege.
That's true.
Major type. That's why we called him Major. It's like when I asked the Marine, who are you? And they say, I'm Corporal Santini. I said, well, I got that much from your camis, but like, why are you here talking to me? But anyway, Major Jeff Buege, it's Biggie for all the listeners, our resident Mormon, but he's not Mormon. He just lives in the greater Salt Lake City area. Today's date is Monday, March the 10th in the year of our Lord 2025. And the price of Bitcoin is $79,147.86. Bitcoin is plummeting by the dip.
Seems low.
By the dip. And as we say in the crypto world, buy the dip. And if you're watching the plummet of all the stock exchanges, then you respond with
all stocks.
With what? With what should I buy the dip? And it's like that. Yeah, it's like that song with a straw. Dear Georgie, dear Georgie, there's a hole in my budget. Dear Eliza, dear. Anyway, we know that if you grew up in the South. Lots to talk about today. Glad to get on here. When you listen to this, it'll be Friday. It'll be Friday the 14th. That makes 63 weeks in a row where we have not failed you. Come hell or high water, we have recorded every week, which is tough to do against tall grass. But we wanted to build some street cred.
It's true.
Because, I don't trust a horse that ain't been rode or a truck that ain't been sold. That's what I've always said. And once we get to 69 episodes, we got street cred. We'll start bringing on the real guests. We'll leave the D-list celebrities and start going to A-list. But anyway, with that, maybe a quick roll call, a little trash update, and then we'll get right into this thing.
We got the TG or the CGTIP, which is the Commanding General's Trash Inspection Program. We got that coming up. So go ahead, everyone, break out your binders, because everything in the Marine Corps, there's a binder that has a step action checklist and has about 15 outdated appointment letters. Go ahead, make sure you appoint. I see UK. We got the 4 busted out of the Right in the Rain. Must have got back from a Serve Mart run. Love that. Let's go ahead and make sure you distribute the pallet of Right in the Rain. So you probably just purchased to the rest of the group here. Make sure you go ahead and update all your appointment letters, all your trash OICs, trash staff NCOICs, trash NCOICs, trash Marines, trash desk sergeants. That's going to be the most important hot button issue that, you got to make sure you can close the loop on. I don't know, trash. I feel like it's kind of taking a back seat, folks, and it's not ever going to take a back seat. It's number one priority.
Hey, real quick, Trash 6 here. I just want to say, sometimes we sit up in here as officers and staff, but mostly just officers, and we do all the real planning. It's where the sausage is made, and sometimes we don't recognize our devil dogs down there on the ground floor. I just want to say I was walking through McCaxey on Thursday prior to a 96. I see 2 devil dogs walking towards me by the dumpster, which I always love to see devil dogs by the dumpster. It's like boots. Boots should be on dirt, not on concrete. And devil dogs should be by dumpsters. And I saw 2 devil dogs and they turned. And I thought that these Marines were going to not render me the proper duty of the day, greeting of the day. That is not the case. One Marine, sergeant type, opened up the lid of that dumpster, and the second Marine just got in. And as Trash 6, I said, well, something here is going on good. And I still thought, well, these Marines, they better render me the appropriate greeting of the day. And the sergeant then closed the lid on his fellow Marine. Closed the lid on him, turned around. I can't do it as Trash 6. I do it as Grant. Turned around and is like, good afternoon, sir. I'm like, obviously camera's already out. Content Grant has awoken from the abyss. And I'm like, good afternoon. What's going on? As soon as he cuts the salute, he opens back up. He's like, oh, we're just looking for something. I'm like, oh, you don't say. I'm like, in the trash. He's like, yes, sir. And I was like, is it important? He's like, yes, sir. It's very important. And immediately my 4 days off flashed before my eyes. I was like, wait, who are you with? And he named his unit. And I was like, oh, not my unit. We're good. Carry on, Devil Dogs. You will be on the OK Podcast Instagram by evening, by sunset.
Oh
anyway, Trash 6. Marine's out there doing good trash stuff. And so then I just watched from the office for about 50. That Marine was in the dumpster for like 15 minutes. And he got out and they both like started doing a walk of shame away. And I walked out of the CP and I took my hand with a thumbs up and I was like, down. If you're not watching on YouTube, you should watch on YouTube. Down, up, down. And the sergeant just looks at me and goes, down. I was like, oh, that sucks. I don't know what they were looking for. It's probably like the nuclear codes.
Probably.
Yeah. Or just some chia seeds and Alp residue.
Could be.
Anyway.
Rough day.
You never know.
Ford took his note.
You're going to find or not find in the dumpster.
Yeah. Anything from the Career Jammer? No?
Is that me?
I think he's
that could be,
TDY.
I don't think he's ever here.
Is that?
Nice TDY.
What? I need a character list before we go into this.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the roll call. Thanks for tuning in. We thought we were done with the roll call, but you guys keep coming back and saying you love the roll call. With that, Jeff, why don't you go to the agenda slide?
All right.
You
first one.
Fifi K.
Fifi K.
Did
I ever tell you that story, Grant?
You did, but the listeners don't know. My mother doesn't know the story.
No. Let me tell her. We were probably, it was in the final third at artillery school, right? And we were in a fire sport class.
Okay, back when I went through, we called it MAOBC, and it was way harder than what you did back when I came through. It was way harder, and it was called MAOC.
Yeah. Back when you came through, aka the class right ahead of me, yeah.
Right, Old War.
Yeah, I heard that y'all was a lot tougher.
They really softened it up.
They really did.
Attrition rate.
They really
did.
Yeah. Back when everyone used to get career designated.
Immediate changes.
Even if you write a letter saying no, yeah. No, so we were it was towards the end of that. And then, so the Marine Corps, for the listeners, if you don't know, the Marine Corps does the school with Army because the Marine Corps is too poor to have their own artillery school. So we do it with the Army.
No longer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. At the time, we did old Corps with the Army.
It. Yeah.
And so there was a National Guard second lieutenant in there. And the Marine Corps instructor said, he asked him some question. He didn't know the answer to it. He goes, do you even know what this is? And he said, oh, yes, sir. He's like, okay, what is this? And he pointed to the first line of a call for fire. This is me, fire for effect. And he phonetically pronounced the shortened version of it, you day me, Fifi K. And he goes, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So, but I told Jeff that. So then whenever I say that, I go, you day me, Fifi K.
You day me.
Graduate.
Unfortunately, yeah, he did. Yeah. He's a colonel, full bird colonel at the moment.
Is he
now runs the school?
Is he still a male or is he like a female colonel now?
Don't ask, don't presume.
That's right. Don't ask, don't presume.
Isn't that the policy now? Don't ask, don't presume.
That's what we've always said.
He's goodness sake. That's right. Good stuff. Oh yeah. You day me, Fifi K.
Sorry. Going to the slide, sir. I apologize.
Oh, yes. This was per Grant's request last. I don't know if it was in the after show, but you wanted to talk about Fieldcraft. Fieldcraft was one you said, make sure this gets in for next week. So that's all the context I have.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to hit it real quick because
you love Fieldcraft.
Yeah, well, you're a Fieldcraft guy. You're kind of a gear junkie. Trey's the resident Lance Corporal. But I just wanted, when you go into like a field op, you're just like, oh, I'm tough as nails. I'm good. And then you get into like day 3 and you're like, why didn't I bring this? And then especially now, I'll say it, we're reservists here. Then you're just like, oh, well, I'll fix that next year. But when you activate, you're like, I need to fix this like 3 days from now. And so coming off of a 6-week SLTE, I just had some thoughts on like things that I don't really care about and things that are like, I must have. And when I say Fieldcraft, for those that listen, I know we got some Army Rangers, we got some airborne types, we got some different folks. I'm not pretending to be anything that we're not. We are artillery officers. If you can't truck it, do it. That's what we've always said. And I'm not pretending. I'm not talking about like watertight, waterproofing my skivvy shirts. I'm just talking about like some basic things that you're like, I don't need this in the field. I do need this in the field. I have my list, but I think we should start with Trey because he's the most removed. Like if you had to go on a 5-day regimental Fire X right now, Trey, like what are the things that you're like, okay, that'll be fine. And like, no, I need this.
Like back when I was lieutenant?
You could do it back when you were lieutenant or if you were right now. I mean, I don't know. I'm just curious, like, what are the things that we all forget stuff? It's like, should I bring the Gore-Tex? Doesn't look like it's going to rain. Won't bring the Gore-Tex. And then, of course, it rains and you're like, dang it. And then you're soaking wet and you're like, would the Gore-Tex even help? Like, did I even need that? But like, what are the things?
Yeah.
Did you even need that? Man, so I always foregoed, as long as my hands were warm, I would always forego like a ton of warming layers. So I'd just bring like maybe one extra layer on the outside, but something light. Because if I would get cold, I would just move around. So I would never bring like anything super heavy that would take up a ton of space. Bring some sort of, I would not bring gloves because they would always be in my pocket.
Every time you buy gloves, you just
and
lose
then
them.
a beanie, and I think that's about it. True. Yeah. Man, I'm trying to think as far as the go-to stuff. Honestly,
it can also be
was
like the nice to haves, right? Like we could be talking gummy bears. We could be talking like beef jerky. We could be talking like a good shave setup. We could be talking your sleep. Like, are you a cot guy? Or are you a bivy sack on the dirt guy?
No, I am a, let me see. A mattress, I would get a sleeping bag and sleep on the hood of a Humvee and just have someone turn it on. So I didn't need any cot. That was usually my go-to. I guess the thing that I would always make sure that we had a lot of is coffee grounds.
Yeah.
For the FTC. So I would go out and buy that. So caffeine and nicotine was probably the two. As long as I had that, I think I would just tough it out and make do without a lot of stuff.
And creatine. All the teams.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, creatine.
Buckets of creatine.
And I would say beef jerky. I think that was pretty good.
Okay. Jeff, you got any?
I don't know, man. Like I would lose a ton. Like a good pen would go a long way for me. Pen or pencil. That I would lose a ton of. So I would always bring like a bunch of those. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I discovered the jet boiler. I think you had one. And then I would use that to shave. And that was a game changer.
Dude, the jet boil is a game changer.
And I only used it for shaving.
Wow. But that's big. Yeah. Getting that hot shave in the field is nice. I remember like our class at like TBS was like, they were like, no jet boils until like the last field op. They were like, okay, you can buy jet boils. So like tons of people went out and bought them. And I was like, I'm not getting a jet boil. That's soft.
Never owned a jet boil to this day.
Fleet, not getting a jet boil. And then it was like when I like chopped over to 3-1 and like all the like infantry lieutenants like had jet boils, and I was like, wait, these guys got jet boils? Like, all right, maybe I'll give it a shot. And I was like, oh wait, yeah, this is great. So I've been team jet boil ever since. Just heating up water for like
this and
instant
that.
coffee. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
And I guess the only other thing that I would add to that list that I never left is like a very nice Garmin GPS.
Okay.
Because I'm terrible at land nav. So if I got the one, I think I gave Grant one.
Yeah, you did.
Is like I got one, and you plug in the grid coordinates, and it's a blue line. It takes you straight to where you need to go. And in 29 Palms, it was like the best.
Oh, that's the best. 29 Palms.
So I didn't trust the Marine Corps issued gear. I would just I would just do that.
That's good.
So
that's all changed now. Everyone has a kill switch. It's like a Android tablet app where the maps are there. So it's literally like, you remember those 29 Palms maps that you had as lieutenant, and like you have this dagger that like you forget to push the button to like repopulate, and you're trying to like find a road. All that's gone now, and on your screen is the map. Like literally like the map that would be in your hands, you're looking at it, and the blue dot is on the map itself. And if you zoom in past the map, you're now looking at like real satellite imagery. Game changer. Like it's a completely different game. Nice. And I'm not saying that to be like back when I was in, but seriously, you don't have to have any map reading skills. It's essentially your iPhone, like tracking you, but it's all GPS. It's crazy. So everyone has that. And I'm more talking about things that like, everyone doesn't have that. You have to go buy a tablet and like go visit the deuce who's never in his office, but you could have that. I think for me, it is a good shaving setup, which includes like a reservoir for me to like heat water, particularly when it's really cold. Like a good shave setup, like maybe enough clean razors to like change the razor head like every 3 days. Because like you're not washing your face, you're dirty, and like it just feels like this is a clean blade. I'm not getting desert syphilis right now. So a nice new, like a good shave setup, a good coffee setup, which to me, I do like the Freedom Press, but I prefer like the Bricka one because I sell them. But no, I actually do like it better because it's just like condensed espresso. It goes quick hit. And then I'm relying on the FDC to have coffee because that's what good lieutenants do, is make sure the FDC has coffee. And then the third thing I think would be, I bought this cot off Amazon. It was like maybe $59, like not super expensive. Folds down small enough that like can go on the side of your main pack. So you're actually like still kind of tactical. Like the bottom goes in like the canteen pouch, and then you can strap it to it. But I just think that sleep, you come by it so little by our own doing, not for any real reason, but like you come by it so little that I'm always big on like, if I'm going to sleep even for 3 hours, like I'm going to like set up and make sure I can get some decent sleep. But yeah, no, that's all. I want to talk about that. And then I wanted to remind Jeff of that Army cavalry guy at MAOBC who was like, Fieldcraft, you know who sucks at Fieldcraft? Navy SEALs. They're terrible. We're all like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
We're like, are you sure?
You're 6 foot 250.
Yeah,
like what?
You're very wide. You are stressing the seams on those camis. Like we're sure.
They're
sure
BDUs.
The Navy
Marine
SEAls are terrible at Fieldcraft.
They're BDUs.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, with when you were calling in airplanes to drop some bombs, what was the Fieldcraft in that situation? From the person who's probably been to the field the most, I would feel like
a lot of times you go back to the hotel at night and would sleep there.
No, that is
so hotel Fieldcraft. Okay.
That is funny. When we did the exercise last year, Jaded Thunder, for all the soft guys, I remember going to the initial planning conference, and they're like, yeah, they're talking about lines of accounting and money pots and all this crazy stuff. And my BG, amazing. They're like, where are you guys going to stay? He's like, oh, we'll be in the field. And they're like, yeah, but like when you're not training. He's like, no, the whole thing's a training event. And they're like, you're going to sleep in the field for 16 days straight. And he was like, oh yeah. And everyone was like, what? Like the soft guys were like, you guys are just going to go out and stay? And they would like come out, do like 3 controls, then be like, hey, we're getting beers at so-and-so tonight. I'm like, brother, I'm not leaving this position for 2 weeks. Like, anyway.
Dude, cast trips are the best.
Yeah. That's what you've always said.
That's true. That's true.
I still feel like you've probably been in the field the most.
We went to 29 Palms a bunch and like San Clemente Island a ton. So there's a lot of field time there. I don't know. The tarp is such a versatile piece of
Tarp's
gear.
a game changer.
I love the tarp. I've if I forget, like a couple times I've like forgotten the tarp, or like I feel like one time it just got like wrecked or something like that. It was very upsetting.
I've never forgotten the tarp. I'm a big tarp fan, and I always bring the tarp over the Gore-Tex because I'm like, if it starts raining and I can cover my pack with a tarp and I bring like a change of clothes, then I'm good. And like, I'll just embrace the rain. Because when I get the Gore-Tex, I'm going to be a heat case. Like that thing is so freaking hot.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any wildlife encounters when you're in the field?
I mean, yeah, lots.
Not like anything crazy other than like, oh, like OP whiskey on Camp Pendleton. It's like, there's just tons of tarantulas usually.
Dude, I remember
tarantulas.
I remember TBS. It was somewhere in the middle. We had the whole platoon was out there kind of sleeping in the one position. And then one kid gets bitten by a black widow, like in the face in the middle of the night. And you just hear him, like he wakes up and he's screaming like, like freaking out, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And I remember I wake up and then like someone's like, oh, you got bit by a black widow or you got bit by a spider. And then like the kid next to me is like, hey, what happened? I'm like, Smith got bit by a spider. He goes, that sucks. And he just went back to sleep. Nice. I just remember like everyone was so tired. Like no one really cares. They're like, he'll tough it out.
That's true.
But he had to get medevac. Yeah, he was fine.
Man,
that reminds me of just talking about. I remember like the first Field X at TBS. It's like whoever was like this, the student platoon commander and platoon sergeant would like pick our spot next to whatever, like one of the big like DZ Raven or whatever it was, and there's just these giant, like the biggest ant mounds I've ever seen in my life. And you look down, the entire ground is just crawling with ants. Like everywhere you look, just like thousands and thousands of ants. And they're like, all right, this, go ahead, get in squads. Like we're sleeping. And like, everyone's like looking around and like, oh, bro, like, well, are we, they like, just look down. Like, this is where you want everyone. They're like, well, it's just a couple ants. And everyone's just like looking at these, like almost like waist high, like ant mounds. And we were like, no. And then they just were like, what? You guys just being real babies about some ants. And then like our SPC walks up and it was like, what the fuck are you idiots doing? Like, pardon my language. What the heck are you idiots doing? No, we're going over there. We're not going to sleep on ants. And they're like,
okay.
Yeah.
Gotta love Quantico, baby.
Quantico, Crossroads.
Like, no, this is where we're sleeping.
What was that? What's that swamp that you do in the
Quigley?
That you hop into whenever you're doing like the obstacle course at OCS? Quigley. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Quigley.
Is it the Quigley?
Yeah.
I remember sitting in the Quigley, like waiting in line to go underneath the, like, what's the concrete thing that you kind of pull yourself through? You know, the first part. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And so we were sitting there like waiting in line.
Trey getting on the OK podcast. Hey, what are like the denim things that you pull up over your waist? Yeah. And then like, what's the thing that you put on your head? Yeah.
But like, what do we call them in Texas?
We're waiting in line to like go through it, and a snake like comes between like me and like the guy in front of me, and I go, that's like the only time I question. I'm like, why am I doing this?
You're like, what?
Like, this is so dumb.
That was the only time
I'm doing this.
Wow.
Well, that was the first. Okay, that was the first time.
I was gonna say. Probably enough Marine talk for all these Marine listeners. Got to give a shout out to Major Matt Lowen, future Coyote 22, hopefully. Got a message from on a 96. On a 96, usually don't hear from Marines. They're out getting DUIs and doing crazy stuff. But he messaged and was like, dude, I will just listen to the podcast. It was great. I want to shout out every week. From now on, I will do whatever I need to do, even if it means get arrested. So I'm going to give him a freebie just because he wants one. But I will remind him about Zach Copley. Zach Copley was the guy that used to get a shout out week after week. He gave us the Bitcoin clock. He came to the Arnold. And there was, I don't know, for 30 weeks, we probably said shout out Zach Copley. And then, hey, just like the Marine Corps, the next man in line, they go away. So, Matt, enjoy your 2 episodes in a row. You never know what happens next week. But yeah.
Tell him to buy us something, and he'll get a shout out.
Yeah, speaking of
fastest way to get a shout out every week. Sponsor us.
Yeah. Speaking of sponsors, we should talk about BW Tax. BW Tax. It is tax season. It is, and I'll tell you, I'm not just a W-2 guy. I'm actually back to a W-2 where my buddy is as he's active duty. But there's a lot that comes into tax season. I'm in the thick of it. You got to get all the documents, all the 1099s, all the investments, everything. In BW Tax, if you moved right before you deployed, if you have a bunch of stuff going on, helps you navigate the waters. And don't be the person that doesn't have their stuff in order. But if you are, he'll take care of you. He'll just charge a little more. But BW has got a wife and family too. He wants to go home on Saturdays and watch, rugby and stuff. But great guy, better at taxes. That's what we've always said. BWTaxLLC.com. It's not too late. You got 35 days until next tax season. There's extensions. There's deadlines that get pushed. You sold some crypto this year. You want to call BW. You're a vet. You're active duty. And everyone thinks, a guy in South Carolina from Massachusetts, he can't do my taxes. Funny thing is, you can live anywhere, and he can help you out. So BWTaxLLC.com literally keeps the lights on. If it weren't for BW, this would not be a show. BWTaxLLC.com.
Wow.
All right.
Love that. Love BW. What? I would love a BW Tax coffee mug. That would be great. It just says BW Tax, and there's just an American flag behind it waving.
Yeah. Oh, it's waving. You can
just make PJ do it.
Well, no, I mean, he doesn't have to make the mug. I just, like an actual physical mug that I could hold.
Oh, I thought just have him edit
that in.
Mug.
No,
this is BW and then a flag. No, we don't want that.
But
we want it. Well, we want it.
We want it. We need it.
The strength.
But don't worry about it.
We can make anything.
That's true. Strength Co can make anything. They make.
How's that ships?
They make plates, barbells, ships.
It's crazy.
Grills, I think. What else do you guys make over there at Strength Co?
Everyone asks me, they're like, what ship are you going to be on? And I'm like, I don't know yet. We haven't made it yet. And the Marine Corps doesn't know either. But
it takes a while.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts when you're building a ship, but that's okay. Let's see. Daylight savings time. How do you boys feel about daylight savings time?
Okay. Can I start this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether or not you like that the time changes, whether or not you like that the sun rises and sets at different times, whether or not you like the sleep adjustment or the adjustment of your 3 daughters' sleep, the thing I hate the most about daylight savings time is having to Google all the appliances in my house on how to change the clock. It's never user friendly, and I spend an hour because I can't wake up in the clock be wrong. I can't do it. I'm not my gosh, no. You don't come to my house in February and the Christmas tree's up. Actually, you don't come to my house on the night of Christmas and my Christmas tree's up. Christmas is over, take the tree down like it's over. I can't deal with having to look up. I just did this. The first 3 hours of my 4 days off was how do I change the clocks? That's my least favorite thing about it. And for that reason alone, I don't care about any other reason. It should be canceled.
Trey, thoughts?
Yeah, it was a rough transition. I just remember waking up Sunday and I like Abby was tired. I was tired. Like everyone was cranky. And I was like, why am I so tired right now? I'm like, oh, the time change. Oh, yeah, it was rough.
Right.
I will say this though. Today and yesterday we got out in the evenings and it was kind of nice. Like it's still being like bright outside. Like went to the PGA park today. That was cool. Went to another park yesterday. So getting out, walking around. It was nice having the sun out still. So good point there. But yeah, dude, Sunday was rough.
You would say that daylight has been saved from time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
I honestly, like everyone complains about it. To me, the worst part is just listen to everybody complain about it.
Yeah, that's so true. Funny.
Yeah.
People get so upset about it.
Like it's brand new every single year. It's like I've never experienced this before. I'm like,
it's gonna be okay. But
yeah, we'll be fine.
Love that.
I'm apathetic. Just tell me what time it is, and I'll go with it.
Yeah, the appliances got to get on. The appliances is rough because I feel there's always one you kind of like forget. Like I feel like mine's like the clock in my car for some reason doesn't like sync up to, I don't know. So that one, it's an interesting one of getting that one figured out. But yeah,
all the clocks everywhere is annoying. And then basically I'll spend the next year going to every Marine Corps clock and fixing it. And yeah.
Well, that clock's probably been broken for like 4 years. So,
well, of course, but like,
we got the maintenance request in, but it's just different pots of money. The pot of money for that one, they haven't refilled it.
They haven't refilled time into that clock.
What's the what are the pros to like the daylight? Like everyone complains about it. Is there any pros to it?
I don't even understand what just happened. Did we just start it or did we just end it?
I don't know. No one knows. That's the thing. I don't think anyone knows.
That is true.
I'm sure someone knows.
I'm not sure. Like, cause like, I think you start it. So there's more. I think we just started it, but I'm always unclear. Like, am I exiting or entering? And now do I say PST or EST or EDT? Never. I think we just started it. So I think it's now PST. No, that's Pacific Standard Time. PDT's Pacific Daylight Time.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Anyway, I always put once you put the D in it, everything's better.
We figured that out. We figured that one out. Let's see. I feel like we're about to talk to Coach Grant here, but you posted in the messages here. Do you need to get stronger?
Oh, did I post that?
You did.
No, yeah, I did post that. I posted that, and I won't make this too long of a rant. I posted that off of a guy, our previous guest, Matt Tomaszewski, first sergeant type, the former gunny that went the dark side. He was asking some questions in Slack, and then I made some comments, and then he messaged me, and it was basically, the guy's like a 500-pound squatter, and he's like, hey, I need to lose some weight. I'm 5'10". I'm, 230. I'm like close to not taping for the Marine Corps. And I'm like, dude, just like lose some weight, like go carnivore, like go low carb. Like I was giving him some options. And he's like, yeah, but like my strength numbers. And I just said to him, like, do you need to get stronger? And he said, like, what's the point of all this if I'm not trying to get stronger? And I think both of those questions are valid. But I think that at some point, if you are strong, like how strong is strong enough is like a book or an article that Ripito has written. Or maybe I actually think he has a short book on that. Yeah, he does, which is like a collection of essays. But like, do you need to get stronger? And I the answer is yes and no. I think the problem is that most people won't go through the hard part, which is like 3 years. And I think that's about what it is. I think it's about 3 years of consistently 3 times a week going into the gym, adding weight, dealing with injuries, dealing with back tweaks, going to the gym anyway, eating enough protein, probably tracking your food, making sure you're sleeping. Like it's a period of time in your life where you getting stronger is kind of, I don't want to say the only thing that matters, but it's a major thing that matters in your life. Like no matter what, you're depressed, you get divorced, someone hits you in the face with a baseball bat, whatever, like you're just like, I have to squat, I have to go deadlift. And if you've been through that, I think it takes like a significant amount of time. But like you get what I would put in quotes strong. And I always use that loosely because like if you've been to the Arnold, like none of us are strong, but I just mean like you can go in and move some weight around. And if you've gotten there, you know, I'll use Tomaszewski as a great example and hopefully a more clear answer than I gave him over text. But it's like, brother, you can squat 500 pounds. Like if your job, in his case, specific case, the Marine Corps, like wants you to not be, or if you don't like being 17% body fat and you want to get down to 12 and your squat goes from 500 to, I don't know, 450, you're going to be fine. Like you are 99% stronger than everyone else on the planet. So I think we're sometimes in the starting strength world and sometimes just in the powerlifting world is like this quest to get stronger. I do think that should be the mindset. The mindset should always be to get stronger. But I think at the same time, it's like if you've put in the work, I mean, like right now, my right shoulder's been driving me nuts. I got to run a PFT in 8 days, getting ready to deploy. I'm trying to balance my free time with like hanging out with my 5-month-old baby. And it's like, man, whether I press 200 or 212 and a half for a set of 5, like doesn't matter, right? Like what matters is that it's like relatively heavy and I'm doing it consistently. But that was kind of my thought. And that's my user hat on. If I put my coaching hat on, it'd be completely different, mainly because 90% of the people I've coached over the last decade, and it's been more than a decade that I've been coaching people, is they never do the hard part. But if you've done the hard part, I'm not saying you shouldn't want to get stronger, but you should be able to like zoom out and realize like, hey, if I can deadlift 405 for 5 and like all this other crazy stuff is going on in my life, like it doesn't mean I don't go to the gym, right? But I can focus on this and not make lifting my number one priority. Anyway, that was my thoughts. But Jeff, I'm curious your thoughts on that.
No, I think that's like well said, and that like, yeah, you should always want to get stronger, right? Like that's, you know, that's kind of what keeps you coming back is you're like, oh man, I haven't done this weight before, putting 5 more pounds on the bar. Like, let's see if I've got it. Like, let's see if I can get under this bar and stand up 5 times with a weight I've never done before. So it's like, it's cool to experience that feeling and to like, you know, as you progress in your lifting, like see what program tweaks, you know, try to get that extra like 5 pounds added to your deadlift or something like that. So it is kind of a journey. But then also like balancing things with like, hey, yeah, there's a very real requirement for, you know, those that are in the military to have height and weight standards that you do have to kind of adhere to. And there are ways, you know, if you're a freak athlete and can run a 300 PFT or, you know, 285 PFT and a 285 CFT and, you know, you can squat 500 pounds, like you're just a gifted individual in terms of your genetics and probably have your training dialed. But you know, if the Marine Corps wants you to kind of look and be a certain way, you kind of got to adhere to that and try to balance all the things that you're trying to go for in the gym, and then also kind of your professional and military requirements. But
I mean, I'd even say it's similar to being
500 pounds. He's strong enough for life.
Yeah, I'd even say it's similar to being in the Marine Corps, though, right? It's like you're always prepping for combat. Like obviously, you're always prepping for combat, like because like that's the whole point. Force and readiness, be ready. But at the same time, it's like yeah, I just can't go out and do gun drills on a 777 all the time right now because I have a phasmo or whatever kind of inspection coming up. And if I fail this, then like all the bosses get fired, everyone gets ruined. And like, actually like right now, more like, of course and it's that kind of mindset. But anyway, that was all I wanted to say is like, yes, you should want to get stronger, but you should have
I think
a lens on there.
I think it's kind of, listen to both y'all, what it kind of reminds me of, what's that saying? Comparison's the thief of joy. And if, I don't know, like I feel like in weightlifting, like comparison, like you compare yourself if you go to a gym, like what the next guy's doing over, or even if you compare yourself to like, man, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I was able to do this for 10, you know what I mean? It's just
like in high school.
It's kind of like you said, like you got to kind of zoom out a little bit.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. So I don't know. It's kind of like what you're saying. It's kind of like, hey, you got to, when you take your coach's hat off, you got to kind of take into account like everything else you have going on in life and just kind of be happy where you're at, kind of thing. See the good part of it.
Yeah, and if you're weak, you're weak, and that's like a fixable problem that you have to do. And I actually, if you're weak, you have to prioritize that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think there needs to be a time in your life where like that's the main thing you do. But at some point, it's just like, there's always someone stronger. You're not going to set any world records. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't get paid for, like, you don't get promoted faster for deadlifting 600. And it's like, what's the reason I'm getting stronger?
True.
Healthy tendons, healthy ligaments, good bone density, ability to do tasks, move people around, whatever it is. And it's like, if you're accomplishing those things, and there's something else in your life, and it could just be like, hey, I'm getting married this summer. And I'm currently whatever, like I want to be skinnier to like take photos or fit in a suit or a uniform, whatever. And like, I think sometimes we miss that. And it's just like, brother, it's all right. Like I don't think you zap all of that strength either. If you've put in the work, I don't think like your tendons and ligaments disappear. If you're still training, but you're just not like eating as much and training as hard, I think like your ability to perform max strength goes away. But like right now I could probably, with my shoulder bothering me, I probably couldn't on a straight bar, but I could probably go Mars bar squat like 485 and my best is 515. And so it's like, whoa, you lost whatever that is. And it's like, well, sure, maybe. Yeah. But at the same time, I also know that like, if you gave me a month, I could like very quickly get back to very close to that. Like a PR is always a tough PR in strength training, but it's the same thing with like running. It's like, I went to run 3 miles. That took me 27 minutes. And it's like, yeah, give me a month of running and that'll be down to 23 minutes or whatever the case is. So anyway.
Yeah.
Big lifting, guys.
Good stuff.
This
Good
podcast. Remember when we used to talk about lifting and take it all serious? Now we just talk about trash and take it more serious.
This is, that's life, you never know.
Yeah.
Progresses.
It all comes back to trash.
All comes back to trash. Okay, let's hit some more topics here. Grant, y'all take some baby photos?
Yeah, Trey did too. And we got a little story to go with that. Trey, why don't you tell me about yours first? Because I was going to talk about mine. Why don't you tell me about yours?
I don't know, man. Fairly uneventful. So baby photos. I'm just not I don't like taking photos to begin with. Like I don't like, okay, so we have to like wear this outfit. I have to take it's like an hour long. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
In Texas,
so baby photos.
In Texas, we just call that getting dressed. It's not an outfit. We just call it putting on
I don't know. Yeah, so we did newborn photos, which I'm happy we did them, man. But it was she came in, she gave us like, hey, feed the baby at this time, turn up the temperature to this temperature, because it makes the baby sleep. Yeah, I guess like she had all these things. So we kind of did that, and then we took some family photos too. Went outside, took some family photos.
So was this at your house?
Sponsor in my poncho shirt. Yeah, it was like right out front. Like, that little pond we have out front.
Yeah.
So we took it like right out there.
Okay. You did it. You did it.
Yeah,
it right.
Man, it was good. Like I said, yeah. What did you have a different experience?
No, it was great. And I just shout out to my beautiful wife, Diana, for doing it. Cause I'm like, we don't even have the photos yet, but I'll be so glad that we have them. But a part of, I was off for 4 days, not me, my buddy, Diana always gets photos with my buddy right before he deploys.
Right.
And so, And when Isabella was a newborn, we did get a photographer for Christmas, and she was a gal that worked for me at the gym. And so we were able to walk like 2 blocks, similar to what you did. And it's like you try to get the baby to not cry, and like you take some great photos, and it was great. She did a great job. And then for this one, Diana had envisioned like me wearing some like camis, some uniforms. Like these would be photos like right as you left your daughter, like, doing camis. I'm like, I'm down. And then she's like, and also like, I'd like to do some like on the hillside, like you wear your hat. Cause like when we did the pregnancy photos, I was wearing my hat. For those that are not from Texas, South Carolina, or Georgia, you probably call it a cowboy hat, but in those states, we just call them hats. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. So she buys me a new shirt, and the day we had the photos, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, like, where are they? And she's like, they're at this location. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, and Diana would say like, Grant hates photos. And I don't hate photos. I love them. And I was like super upbeat about them. I'm just thinking like logistics, right? I'm an artilleryman. I'm thinking about moving people and getting rounds down range. I'm like, all right, we're going to have to drive 45 minutes. And then we're going to like get to a location, and like there's like breastfeeding involved. And then there's like dressing up and doing hair and like lint rolling hats. And so we get there, and then the woman's like, yeah, we're going to have to like walk 10 minutes to like the spot that I want for like the sun to be right. I'm like, that's cool. And like, I'm in my Luke Casey boots with those rich boys from Dallas wear. And, I'm like walking down, and then she's like, it's actually a 15-minute walk unless we cross this bridge. And I'm a Marine. I'm like, oh, let's cross the bridge. It's not a bridge. It's like 2 logs. And my wife is in like a brand new pair of boots and like a dress. And I'm pushing a stroller. And I'm all about it, right? But I'm just like, I'm not like dressed to like scale this, and like I don't want to drop my baby in. We crossed it. We took the photos. Baby started crying. The photos are going to be amazing. Like I already know the photos. Like once I get them, it's going to be amazing. And I told Dee 100 times on the way home, I'm like, I'm so glad you did that, because I would have thought of how much work this was and would have never done it. But like, I'm glad we have them. But it's just like a thing. And especially like if you want, and like I actually like the backdrop she selected. It's like kind of like not halfway to 29 Palms, but it's like California, like I'd call it hillside, not mountains, right? And she's like, we came out here, you've been gone training, like it's gonna be great. But it's definitely a thing. And like when you look at the photos, you're like, what a beautiful family. And I'm like, let me tell you about the baby screaming the entire way home. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably the build up to it that I just don't like photos. Once you do
like
it,
the end result, though.
Like, okay, that was worth it.
Yeah, you like the end result. Yeah.
But that's what AI. I feel like AI could do that now, right?
That's what I was like.
25 fingers on your baby.
Not there yet. Okay, so soon.
Yeah, soon.
AI photos stink.
Oh man.
Oh, that's good stuff. Other topics. Grant, fly fishing. Did you go
really
fly
want
fishing?
to?
You miss
no,
fly
I want
fishing?
to. Yeah,
Dream about it.
Let me give this to Trey and Jeff. I got 5 days off before my buddy leaves, and it's like, for me, part of me wants to just go home and hang. But like for my wife, it's like, oh, it's our last chance to do something. And it's my last chance to like do something. So it goes both ways. And then I'm like, well, like, how can I work in fly fishing? And like, I'm just in a part of the country in Southern California where like, yeah, you could like saltwater fish the coast, but like for like trout fishing, fly fishing, like the closest is like 5 hours. And so I'm like mapping it. I'm like, okay, I drive down from the high desert this day, and then we go and spend a night here at this hotel. And that only puts us 3 hours from fly fishing. And then we go there. But then it's like, now I have to plan like 8 hours where I'm remote, like fly fishing. And like, okay, like what's my wife and baby doing? Like you're trying to do the analysis. And you're like, this does not work. And I was just like, man, there's nothing more that I want to do than wet some lines. I miss the Carolina. It's just like 45 minutes away from fishing. yeah, no, I just want to fish. Just want to fish, Trey. Just want to wet some lines, set some dries.
That's a tough. I haven't even thought about fishing. I want to go do it. I see everybody out there bed fishing in front of my house, but I'm like, man, that must be nice.
Oh, they're fishing for beds? Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, in real fishing, what bass do, I don't know if you know this, it's called spawning. Do you have that? Do you have that with your little baby fish that y'all catch? I don't know.
We do have that in fly fishing.
You mean it's called beautiful trout?
Yeah, you mean when the hatch starts after the spawn? Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh my god, majestic, beautiful trout. Oh, I don't even know about that. Just these big old,
you're right,
dumb mouths, just big old
dumbass bass fish that get described by two words, either small or large mouth. Like, can you imagine your whole existence is your mouth is small, your mouth is large. Dumbass fish.
Then my favorite is like, then y'all pull up like this fish you caught and it's like fits in your hand. I'm like, that is the most adorable thing I've ever seen.
It's a wild fish, Trey. It's never been. No. It's not even about the fight, Jeff. It's about that it's never been caught and it's been surviving for thousands of years. Your fish just been eating dog food for 6 months in the pond in front of your house. My fish came from the Nile River down the Mississippi.
Came from the Nile.
That's right.
Across the ocean.
That's where all trout came from.
Yeah. They all originated from the Nile.
Except for those cutthroat trout. Those are what we call Mormon trout.
They're beautiful.
Hey, I've never tried fly fishing, so
you don't know what you're missing.
Be careful. You might just like it.
That's true. I've never tried it, but to be fair, I don't think I've ever tried real bass fishing.
Yeah, I've been to a NASCAR race. I know what it's like.
Yeah, that's America, baby.
That is America.
That's the most. Though I would go to argue the largemouth bass is the most American fish that's out there.
American like a MAGA fish, or American like a JFK fish?
No, I would say like America. The largemouth bass is definitely a MAGA fish.
So like redneck MAGA evangelical fish is a largemouth bass. Yeah, my fish is more like more like a Teddy Roosevelt fish. I fish for Teddy Roosevelts.
Yeah.
I like the outdoors. I like the fact that our country exists. Think we should keep it that way. You're just like America truck, yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought y'all would be more like it would be like a Ron Paul kind of thing. Who bought all Ross Perot? It would be like a Ross Perot fish.
Ross Perot.
Nah,
buys its own ads or TV time to explain stuff.
Ross Perot is like a he has like an aquarium inside his house.
Flounder.
Yeah.
An aquarium. Dude, Ross Perot.
Domesticated. Yeah.
He's like domesticated fish. Yeah.
Yeah. A beta fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That was dumb. All right. Let's continue.
That was good.
Okay. We got one more. I guess this would be if we should have hit this during our marine talk.
We gotta talk some sports.
We'll save this. We'll save it for next week. Yeah. Let's jump into some sports. Or actually, no. One more topic. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be sports related, but Chupacabra.
Oh.
Grant posted Chupacabra.
Do you know what that is?
Did you see one?
Do you know what that is?
Is it an animal?
It's like a mythical.
Well, tell us how you really
right?
feel, Trey. Jeff, tell us how you really feel. Mythical. So, okay. So
I've never seen one.
I think it's a Pokemon, right?
Could you explain it first? Because I heard about it from my wife. Could you guys explain the Chupacabra? And then I'll explain the scenario that led us to talking about it. But like, how would you?
I wouldn't say mythical is a bad word. I would say it's a folk tale
Okay.
that people say that's like I don't know. People just say, "Hey, Chupacabra." I don't know, like big teeth. That's all I remember from it.
But you've both heard of it?
I think it's a mammal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just a.
They'd be like, "Oh, hey, I haven't seen our dog in a couple of days." And, Chupacabra
got him. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are definitely Pendleton Marines.
It's like
because I had a scenario yesterday, where when I come home, I let the cats out. And, the big cat has got the broken leg, so he can't scale the fence. But the young cat can scale the fence. And Dee's always scared to let the small cat out. His name's Waylon, after Waylon Jennings, and he's a rambling man. And he scales the fence. And I'm always like, he'll come back. We just can't let him out at dawn or dusk because of the coyotes. And so last night he goes out, you shake a bag of treats. He comes back, put him in the house, go to bed. Dee's up doing something with the baby. And, I'm just sleeping like a deadbeat husband. And something, I guess, walks through the yard and the cats like go crazy. And they're like, "Wah!" like making weird noises, like all kind of stuff. And so Dee's telling me about it this morning. And I'm like, "Oh, the Yucca Man got him." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "It was probably the Yucca Man." And she's like, "What's the Yucca Man?" And I was like, the Yucca Man, like the Yucca Man. She's like Bigfoot? I'm like, "No, not like Bigfoot." She's like, "Well, what's the Yucca Man?" I was like, "It's like this like half beast and like methed out, stringy haired person that like roams the high desert. Like it's the Yucca Man." And she's like, "You're not explaining anything." I'm like, "No, the Yucca Man is like, he's like, I don't really know what the Yucca Man looks like because I've never met the Yucca Man. I don't want to meet the Yucca Man, but like in Marine hierarchy, there's like the Yucca Man, like like anything that bad happens to you, like the Yucca Man did it. Or like you're going out on a patrol and you're scared in the desert, it's cold. It's like, watch out for the Yucca Man." And she's like, "Oh, so like a Chupacabra or whatever it's called." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "What is it?"
Chupacabra.
And I said, "What?"
Yeah,
I said, like the guy from Star Wars. What's that one called? Chewbacca.
That's Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Wait. So what's the first one you guys said?
Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. So she was saying Chupacabra. Me, big Star Wars guy, thought Chewbacca was wrong. So I started to explain the Yucca Man. So yeah, anyway, I've never heard of it. Han shot first. Always have said that. Han shot first. Anyway, yeah, that's all on that. The Yucca Man's like, I think he's the hierarchy of mythical beasts.
You never heard it.
Never heard it.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, did Dee explain it to you, or?
She said it's like, basically it's like a Bigfoot for Mexicans. That's how she explained it to me.
I feel like that's fair. That's a fair assessment.
It's a good explanation.
That's what you told me.
Like no other details, but that was it. Just no other details.
Yeah, she was like Bigfoot for Mexicans. All right. Chica tu madre. Got it.
See. That's good. Okay. A little sports talk. There was a trade in the NHL. It looked like
a lot of trades.
A big.
Let's see what Trey's tracking.
End of an era there.
Can you advise me on what you're tracking, Trey, on the trades?
I know of the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars. I'm trying to think who they got. I can't remember his name. They got a guy who's on the Finnish national team. So apparently the Stars have like a bunch of Finland national team players.
What are they up to
on their team?
Dallas.
I don't know. They love Finland. But I don't know. I think he came from Carolina. Apparently he's pretty good. They traded some young guy and some draft picks. So everyone was super excited about it because everyone's been let down by Dallas management and sports here recently between Jerry Jones and Nico Harris. So everyone was pretty excited when something good happened to a Dallas sports team. Yeah. As far as I know. But apparently Boston traded somebody.
Yeah. I don't really know how to put this. Brad Marchand, 16 years, Boston Bruin, legendary, helped bring home the cup, all that kind of stuff. They traded him, and they traded him to the Panthers, so still in the East, to a rival. And apparently Marchand had like requested a meeting, like, hey, I know like we're not where we want to be on money. Like, can like I meet with the Bruins staff, like I'll give some, like you give some. And the Bruins were like, no. And then Sweeney comes out and is like, well, if I had done my job, which everyone's like been roasting for. But anyway, they traded a bunch of people. They traded Coyle, Carlo, Trent Frederick. They traded a bunch of like Bruins for the last like 5-6 years. And the Bruins have been on the cusp. They haven't won anything. So you could make the argument like that maybe this is what it takes. But like Marchand's like, I mean, I don't know. It's like trading Fred McGriff from the Braves, right? It's like it's like getting
is it like Luka Doncic bad trade?
No. Well, yeah, for Dallas, not for LA, but it's like, well, and it's like this guy, he has like maybe 2 years left, and he wants to retire a Bruin, and like everyone loves him. I also try to like put on my business hat and be like, he's older, he's injured right now. But yeah, if you're into hockey at all, if you followed it, if you're a Bruins fan, it was terrible. And then he went to the Panthers and he had this big fight with the Smith guy from the Panthers. And like he goes to his first game, like, so what's it like now working with him? He's like, oh, he's still a piece of shit. He's still on the surface. And they're like, wow. So yeah, he hates it. It was just interesting. It was just like, it was probably not as hard for me because I kind of liked hockey later, but it was kind of like when Brady left the Patriots, when it was just like, why? Why is this happening? But I think even it was worse because I think Brady was trying to like dissociate himself from Belichick and be like, watch me, I can go do this on my own. And like Marchand's like, I just wanted you to like meet me in a little bit in the middle in terms of pay, I think but I haven't had a ton of time to dig into it. But yeah, that happened. So a lot of Bruins left, and the Bruins came out and won a bunch of games. So yeah,
Fresh blood.
Lady Gamecocks won the SEC again, beat Texas. I love when they beat Texas. They won SEC champs.
Oh, everyone does.
Down with the horns.
Stuff.
Who I saw something on Josh Pate.
Who?
Josh Pate, the college football podcast guy. Have you ever listened to him?
Was he on the OK podcast?
Big college football podcast guy. He was. No, we should invite him though.
Yeah, we should get
he asked a question this week of who's the most hated team in college football.
Texas A&M.
And he was like taking polls. No, I think Texas was the winner.
I believe that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I dislike Notre Dame more, but
they were up there. Ohio State was up there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We got a couple trades.
For me, LSU.
LSU. Yeah, they're bad fans.
LSU's up there.
Trey, if we can get you on a rant, you sent me that Texas A&M influencer guy, whatever he was, and he was like, hey Sarah, I know we're supposed to get married, but it doesn't seem like you want to wear the Aggie ring. And so I posted it, right? I love when you guys, BW's if you watch the OK Podcast Stories, the main feed of them is BW. The secondary feed is me, and the third is probably Trey, and I think Jeff has maybe contributed like once, which is nice of him. But yeah, Trey, you sent me that one, and a couple people were like, I'm an Aggie, and this is hilarious. I'm sending it to all my friends. And so what's the deal? Are A&M like marriages, arranged marriages?
No, I would say no, it's not. But I would say people at A&M, very conservative school, right? And so they feel like they have to have
like
a ring by spring,
like
so to speak, I
wait,
guess.
wait. Like MAGA conservative or like Teddy Roosevelt conservative? Because Jeff and I and you are on two.
No, I would say just like Southern Baptist conservative.
Oh, okay. So like Jesus.
Yes. Yeah. And so I would say a good chunk of them are. And so they really want to be married before they graduate. At least a good, decent chunk of them do. It's a big school, so not all of them, but a lot of them do. And so I just thought that was kick. I mainly send you videos that I necessarily don't like, but I'm like, Grant would like this. And so
you do a great job. You do a great job.
I sent him another one with like King of the Hill talking about soccer. I thought that one was pretty funny.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that video was actually pretty good. That guy did a pretty good job. Yeah. So it was essentially just talking about how the girl he was dating was not Aggie enough for him to see a long-term relationship going forward. So he's going to have to dump her.
It was fantastic.
But they shared a bunch of special moments, which is always going to mean a lot to him. Yeah. Like the midnight yell. They went to midnight yell together. So
wow.
Whoop. Farmers fight.
And the reason why it's funny is because there's actual A&M people who are like that like you would go and meet people who are like, man, this guy's just way too much.
Yeah.
Like way too into it.
And the Broggi family, we just call that my brother-in-law.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's why I'm like, I hope Grant sends this to your brother or
I did.
Your brother-in-law.
I didn't, but I'm going to send it to him right now. He probably doesn't follow. He's too big for us. What else we got? We got like another topic and bring this thing down for a landing.
Headline I saw right before hopping on here was the 49ers cut their fullback. They released him. They said, we don't need a fullback anymore.
It's a shame.
They also bites the dust.
Cooper Kupp. They also got rid of Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. So just it's another sad day for the fullback. Hopefully.
Bring back the fullback.
Hopefully some fullback gets assigned as an undrafted free agent, because I feel like that's every fullback story. Is none of them have ever been drafted. They're all just undrafted free agents that like Bill Belichick saw at like some random thing and was like, I need this guy.
You're trying to get that helmet on.
No, Grant, your head. No, that's a small helmet for small heads. You got normal size head. You need a normal helmet. Don't let ISIS put that on your head.
Oh man.
But
dude, I think 49ers gravy train is coming to an end though.
I hope so too. That's a team I don't know.
Dude, they had a deal because they were paying Brock Purdy, whatever his name is, Purdy. They were paying him peanuts, man.
Nothing.
Because like
South Carolina, we just got him cute.
Yeah. Just I think that's the currency in South Carolina is just peanuts. No, I thought it was they were paying peanuts, and so they were able to have all these like superstars on there because there's so much cap space. But no more. Sorry,
because they paid him a ton of money, right? Didn't he get paid a bunch in his last?
I didn't see his contract. Okay, I would imagine so though.
Because I just also saw that like the Seahawks just signed Sam Darnold for like $100 million, and I'm like, what? Sam Darnold?
Yeah. And they cut who's that Transformer they had? DK Metcalf?
Dude, yeah.
Dude, that dude's a monster.
Yeah. We'll take him in Green Bay. How about that? Actually,
he went to Pittsburgh. Sorry, dude.
Is the ink dry on that contract yet? We'll see.
Is that a wet signature?
Yeah, that's a wet signature. It's got to be in blue pen. This is the only signature ever that has to be in blue pen. If you've ever tried to get your official government passport, there's like one signature on the form that needs to be in blue pen, and everybody messes it up. And it's like, this is the only signature ever that's been required to be in blue pen. But, watch out for that.
If you want to come on the OK podcast, we require that you sign in blue pen. That's what we've always done.
Yeah, wet signatures.
Wet signature.
3. I don't want to hijack it.
Signatures.
Just trash 6 real quick. Trey, can we get a rat update?
Yeah. The rat story, I don't want to say it was over exaggerated, but
I mean, my wife's definitely not coming to visit you this time.
I sent her a message and I said, "Hey, all rats are dead." The
but
rats
are
have been
they
exterminated? I have not seen a rat. I haven't seen them. You know what? And I take no news as good news.
Okay,
and so
it's a good way to do it.
That's my policy with rats. As long as I don't see you, you're good. No, I've not seen a body, but I've also not seen a rat. So the hunt continues, but I've not seen them.
The rats in the cradle.
Maybe the battle is over, but the war is still going on.
They, I think they retreated. They gave up space for time.
Retreat? Hell, we just got here.
Yeah, they're trading space for time.
But I've set out a bunch of poison. All the poison was eaten, so I don't know what that means. So
something's dead. We don't know
something's dead. I don't know where or when. All the poison's gone.
I can't find my great.
I
can't find my Great Dane, but there's no rats anywhere.
All the poison's gone.
Oh man,
the rat poison is gone. So are the rats. I'm putting 2 and 2 together, and I'm just going to say rats are gone. Rat update complete.
Nice.
All right. Should we? Any save rounds or alibis?
Yeah, I got to save round.
Yeah, go
ahead. Twins turning 1 before the next time. I feel like that is more an accomplishment, not for them, but for me keeping.
Yeah,
humans
100
for a full year.
Dang.
Yeah.
Thank
you. What's the date?
That's
March 13th.
So March 18th. We're celebrating this weekend, but March 18th. Okay. I got to go out of town on the 18th.
So for all the listeners that appreciate Trey and appreciate that he's got 3 daughters under the age of 1. When you listen to this podcast, have 3 daughters under the age of 1, and you appreciate he's a good dad and better at being an Aggie fan. But if you appreciate that, just go to www.thestrength.co. He wears a size XL. Buy him a shirt. I want Trey to have so many shirts that he doesn't even know what to do. I just want his house to be covered in shirts. I want him to be able to take him to his mother and be like, sew me a quilt to cover my babies with because I have too many shirts. I recommend the squat tee. www.strength.co. You can also buy him a cast iron pan, but just send Trey something because this is about Trey. Yep. It's not about his daughters. It's about him and what he's done. Trey Gottlich, great Marine, better at fatherhood. That's what we've always said. Yeah.
They don't know they're turning 1. That's it.
Yeah, right.
They have no idea what this
party. They're just like, this party is not for them.
they don't know what day it is. No. They were crushing. Eat some solids. They were crushing a bunch of Texas barbecue, though.
Start them young.
In South Carolina, we just call that barbecue.
Yeah.
Never gets old.
It never does.
Gotta keep the sayings alive, boy.
It's a great way. It's a great way to end the conversation, too.
Yeah, it really is.
Because Trey doesn't know what to come back with. Yep. Yeah, that's right.
They do that. They do call that there.
Yeah, that's what they say. Oh, man. Jeff, any save rounds, alibis?
I got no save rounds. Nothing.
Let's see. Save rounds, alibis. We should talk about green gridiron. Green gridiron. Nothing for the group. Our Mr. Helmet Maker. I'm holding the Navy midshipman helmet as I speak. Jeff's got it behind his head. Sold out, actually. Unfortunately, we did a run of like 36 of these bad boys. Sold every single one, and then like the red visor thing we can't source right now. So the helmet's not on the site. Another helmet world. We're commissioning a helmet, Godfather battery helmet for my buddy for his time at 311. We're going to hang it there in OP Thunder. You can't have a fiddler's green in a battalion because those are held for the regiment for their artillerymen past. But we're commissioning a helmet, so we got a pretty cool logo, Godfather on each side. I'll post the photo. There'll be mini helmets available for sale not for you peasant listeners, but for the Marines. But yeah, we got it with all our names in the back and stuff. Turned out pretty cool. So my point is, if you have a significant thing in your life, maybe it's your daughter's first birthday. Maybe you've had 3 girls in under a year, which most people don't do. I don't know. You can go to Mr. Helmet, Green Gridiron or Gridiron Green, I can't remember.com, or just click the link down in the show notes. And you can go and you can design a helmet. You can put your logos on the side. You can ask them for help if you're not a branding expert. You make a cool helmet. We're making a cool helmet to put up at OP Thunder. It'll look great. Mr. Helmet keeps the lights on. Another guy keeping the lights on. He keeps the lights on, so we keep talking about him. That's what we do with our sponsors. Shout out to BW Tax. Trey, you want to bring this thing down for landing?
Nah, I would love nothing more to do that. What episode are we on? Say it one more time. Big bucks.
063.
Hey, episode 063 of the
Okay.
podcast. As Graham mentioned, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Mr. Helmet, Gridiron Green, the greenest of gridirons, whatever that is. The link's below. Just click it. Get yourself a helmet. I'd like to thank our other sponsor, as always, BW Tax, keeping the lights on. Good guy, better at taxes. It's tax season. Do you want to go to jail? No. Call BW. All right. I'd like to thank... Actually, no. We're still powered by the Strength Code, as you can see from the banner behind us. If you also look at the link below, you will see the Slack link. Click that. Use code OK.
Okay.
Get your discount. Love to talk to you about life, lifting, and just silliness in general, whatever it may be. We have it there. If you're not watching on YouTube, what's wrong? Don't watch it. We don't care. Whatever.
We do care. We want them
watching it. We love you.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. But we do want you to watch it. No, we do care. Yeah.
I thought we had enough. Okay, so my bad.
I thought we had.
I thought.
Yeah.
We were like, nope, no more.
We hit our quota. Let me make a note real quick.
Hey, Matt Lowen, if you want to shout out next week, go subscribe to the YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. So note for future, we want more people watching YouTube. Go to YouTube. Give us a subscribe, a like, and leave a comment down there. Love to see you. Most importantly, if you go to www.theokpodcast.com, you will find various social media links. Click all of them. Follow all of them. Interact. Love to see you there. But most importantly, we all have our each individual social media accounts that we're all very involved with. Is anybody live right now?
Jeff.
I might be.
To this day, I still don't know what going live means, but I know that Jeff does it constantly.
All the time. Oh my gosh. I know. I got to plug in my phone. It's almost dead from going live.
Jeff, are you still live? I just told all the followers that you went live.
No, I'm so live.
Put your camera back on the screen and dance around like you're live.
Jeff lives live.
Jeff. Yep. Oh, yeah. Jeff's live. Whoa,
yeah, we live.
Crazy. No one joined.
Dude. The fact that people listen to this blows my mind.
It is insane.
Coach, I miss anything?
It's great. Thanks for tuning in to the OK Podcast, episode 063. Can't believe we've done it 63 weeks in a row. Appreciate the 1,000 people that do listen to it every week. Go to www.thestrength.co. Buy American-made plates, American-made barbells. If you're looking for coaching, go on there. We got live Zoom consults. We have 2 gyms in the country that you can go visit. And if you want a online community, you can come join us on the Slack channel. $29 a month. Use code OK. Takes down to 19. You can get your form checked. You can get a program to follow. You can talk nutrition. You can talk politics. You can talk crypto. Whatever it is you want to do with a like-minded group of people. We appreciate each and every one of you that has joined and logged in. We special shout Dunkin' Donuts. Jordy put Dunkin' down the bottom of the screen because I just did a 1-minute reel. And thanks for tuning in. Episode 063. We'll see you next time.